Hi, welcome to Artsy Partswork with Amelia. We do IFS peer processing by crafting together. And I'm trying something new today, so we'll see. We got a new painting here that we're starting on Equinox. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing yet. It will be revealed in pieces this time just to add a little bit of mystery. I always like to finish a painting before a new moon and start a new one. And especially this time, it's also the eclipse. So, also a good time to think about what things are we leaving behind and letting go of, and what things do we want to pursue and use our energy for in the next season. So, I thought it might be a little bit helpful to be able to see a little bit what I'm doing, because the other videos are just not so up close. And with my last painting, I learned to water the paint down and it goes on easier. So I'm doing that this time. And I'm really appreciating how smoothly the paint spreads. Oops, that's the wrong color. So I'm reading a book on dreams right now. Let me go get it and show it to you. It's really good. I also follow their podcast. It's called Dreamwise, Unlocking the Meaning of Your Dreams. And the authors are Lisa Marciano, Deborah Stewart, and Joseph Lee. And they have a podcast called This Jungian Life. Jungian, I always struggle with saying that word. Jung, sociologist, Jung, Carl Jung. And he's written a lot about the subconscious and dream life, and there's a whole method of dream interpretation, which I have not studied. It's on my list of fun things to do someday. Starting off with this book though, because I thought, he wrote, oh gosh, in the 1800s. I feel like maybe it was the early 1900s. Well, I think he was a peer of Sigmund Freud, so not as long ago as to make it sorry, it's morning. I'm still drinking my coffee, um, and I'm not good with dates in general anyway, so I'm just going to stop trying to figure out what time period he lived in. But I come across so many quotes from Carl Jung, and I studied sociology in college. That was my major. And so I remember studying him back then. I wish I would have. For whatever reason, he didn't capture my heart back then. I hadn't lived enough life to understand the depth of his teachings, I think. But now I just love a lot of what I see or read of his. Again, I haven't read a book of his, and this one I'm hoping is going to help me digest his theories easier. It's in present day thought and vernacular, and has practical applications to the dreams. They've pulled out, all the dream stuff of his and put it in one book. So anyway, Where was I even going with that? I was going to tell you something about dreams. Let's see if I can remember it. Oh, I know what it was. This idea of lucid dreaming that happens right as soon as you wake up. And, the 7 minutes after you wake up, how powerful they are for setting the intention of your day. Actually, I think I saw that from Facebook, so you might want to fact check this. I don't, I hardly believe much of what I see on social media anymore. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. Um, but just the power of, um, when you wake up, you usually have a dream feeling or emotion that is got some kick to it, some power, some energy attached to it, and then you choose. You're awake enough at that point that you're in between the conscious and subconscious, and then you have the power to kind of choose where that goes. In internal family systems, we call it a do-over, where or a U-turn. You look inward and say, how am I feeling about this? And why am I feeling so strongly about this? What's it? What's the deeper connection here? What's it remind me of? And then, so that's the U turn. And then the do over is, oh, how would I like it to go? This dream ended this way, but how would I prefer it to end? Or what are some alternate perspectives that this dream is causing me to consider? Because the conscious and the subconscious, um, the ego and the soul self are gonna take polarized or opposite perspectives or different. Not, it doesn't have to be opposite, but they can be different perspectives of how to do life. And both of them are necessary to consider to make a really well rounded choice and decision. And sometimes, I'm not saying you're stubborn, but sometimes we get stubborn in our thoughts and perceptions and values and beliefs, and we don't want to consider another option, right? A different way of seeing something or relating to something. And this dream practice helps us to, in a small, gentle way, say, oh, there's different ways of seeing this. And because it's your internal parts, it's survival focused. It's for your good. It's bringing this to your attention because it thinks it will be helpful for you. And it likely is. And there's likely a survival reason why you've always done things the same way or the way that you do, that have worked in the past. It's just time to reconsider. We all grow and evolve and change. So, and then there comes a time when you need to reconsider things and say, is this still working for me? Is this still the way I want to make my decisions? And again, eclipse season is a great time to reevaluate. They say eclipse season is the time to do all the rethink, reevaluate, um, repurpose, whatever, rewrite. Number three. I think we're done with you. Go on to number two. How thick that is. I'm just gonna add some water. I keep forgetting that I bought this microphone for this. Let's see if this is still plugged in and charged. Be able to use this. See if it's helpful. I don't know if it will change anything. Hmm. We'll see. Let's see if you can tell a difference from with or without. So the videoing this way more up close means I have to stay alert to moving the camera when I move my painting, when I start painting a different area. I have made that mistake in the past where I am painting away and nobody can see what I'm painting. Something different I did on this um, canvas as well is I didn't iron out the wrinkles. Normally I do. I am old-fashioned enough that I still have an iron and ironing board, and I guess crafting people have an ironing board, not just old people. Um, but I felt like the ironing of it kind of warped it and gave it its own set of uneven wrinkles in a different way. Like it stretched the canvas in a way I didn't want it stretched. So this time I just squirted it with a water bottle and got it wet and damp and then like stuck it to I pulled on it and then I stuck it to my table and it kind of flattened itself like saran wrap would, you know what I mean? Um, so I don't know if it's necessarily if there's one way better than the other. It was just a different way of doing it, and I guess I probably at this point have a preference that I like how it's sticking to the table, and um, I like that it was a faster process to just squirt it. Excuse me. Mm, they're probably mm, fully effective. I don't know. I guess time will tell. Okay. I think there's two. I had a tough time deciding this morning which painting to start. I had in mind that I wanted to do a scenery, like a mountainscape view next that had really bold, bright colors. But then when I got down stairs and looked at my collection, I thought, ooh, this one feels um, like a seasonal one that I'll probably only feel like painting this month. And, come Christmas or winter or spring, it's not gonna hold as much um, fun for me. So I put that other one aside and said, well, it gives me something to look forward to and a reason to push through and finish this one so that I can get to that one. And this one will be fun in its own way because it's like more holiday ish for the fall. It's probably time for me to buy some more paintbrushes. I think I've had these almost a year and they're starting to show their age. Um, I don't very often use the little blue ones that come with the kit because they're not small enough. I want to do more detail and I need a smaller tip. And these paintbrushes I just got on Amazon. They were fairly inexpensive. And they came in a nice little, whoops, a nice little travel case. Um, which I likes when I go to coffee shops and things. It's nice to be able to zip them up and take them with me. Or painting events. I haven't had a painting event in a while, just because my summer was so crazy busy. But I like to hold group paint by numbers in at the library. Okay, this one doesn't have a number. I think I'm just going to guess. And that one, let's see, what's color number 5? I bet you it's a 5 because there's different outlining ones here. I can make an educated guess there. That's probably okay. Let's see here. I do have my magnifier that helps when I can't see the numbers well. This has lots of lines that are not numbered in the middle. Let me get out my paper map and see if it tells me more. Number 4. Oh, maybe that isn't one. Okay, what color is 4? It's more of a green. 18. Okay. Change of plans here. 18 and 4. So I did some, painted some yellow that should have been this more brown color. And lucky for me, brown is darker than yellow, so I'm just gonna go over it. And yellow is gonna be, I mean, again, lucky for me, it's light enough. I'll still be able to see the lines underneath it to see where it should have been. If, it was a dark enough color, um, and I couldn't see the lines, then I just have to go, just cover the color. It's uh, the next best thing. Okay. Shoot, now that one says 4 on it. Where does one stop and one begin? Let's see here. This is 4. Should have went up here. Hmm. Maybe I should take another sip of my coffee. Kind of like dream work. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You just make a guess and you think, oh, this is probably what it is. And then when you're fully awake and you can reason and you can test and analyze or reconsider, you might come up with a different meaning or symbolism that's more helpful, and that's okay. It's your art, it's your life. You get to create it however you want. Mm, let's see. Oh, the 16s and 18s look a lot alike. I wonder if I just did that one wrong. Again. Yeah, I think I did. I think that was supposed to be a 16. Okay, we'll fix that too. Um, okay, let's fix that 4 first before I forget. It's a lot lighter and mustardy than I thought. I thought that was going to be a really lime green. It's light, which is not going to really cover up this very much, but it's okay. It'll just be blended. Put some pumpkin spice in my coffee this morning. It's yummy. Walmart had a new flavor. Well, maybe it's not new and it was only newly in my awareness. Maybe I've just never noticed it because I always go for French vanilla, but they had a cream brulee coffee. And it's sweeter and I like it. It's good. That mixed with my pumpkin spice um, powder blend, I guess. Yeah, spice. It's yummy. Okay, 16. What color is 16? Oh, it's a bright color. Okay. Ooh. It's always fun to see how the swirl that they make when they open. It's artistic in its own right. So full, it's about to overflow. That's the ways that I've been reevaluating um my life right now. Oh, that wasn't the one I was supposed to cover. I was supposed to cover this one. Well, guess we'll do a third coat over that one. Try and recapture the original color. I'm reevaluating where I want to spend my energy. Oh, my paintbrush is too fat. This small spots. And I was just thinking of that when I saw the overflowing paint here, like how vibrant and full and juicy it is, and how that's where I want to live my life, where that juicy, vibrant, full, happy, energetic part of me overflows. I don't, don't do the things that are sucking the life out of me and just doing them for obligation's sake. Um, how can I rather invest and spend more time doing things that help me overflow with goodness and vibrancy? Okay, that was a number one or two, if I remember. Let's look at my little chart here. Oh, it was a 3. Oh, interesting. Look at the numbers here: 13, 14, 16, 15, 17, 18. Ah, To make sure. Sometimes those wear off after you've done them enough times, so have to be aware. And even the colors don't, like this one should have been closer to this family and that one's closer to that family. Hopefully it's in my awareness now and I will remember that in a more conscious way when I'm painting, that those are out of order. I'm going to check the others. Look, this one's missing a number entirely. Oh, it's probably it's the same color. They just didn't mark it. 19, 20, 21, 22, but 5 is at the end. Oh, and 5 is at the end because it's an extra, because I have a 5 here. Looks like the rest of them are numbered correctly. People make mistakes. It happens. Sounds like that's the message of this painting so far. Oh, what happened here? I just smudged that somehow. Pink. I'm gonna water it down with some my saliva. I know that's gross. Okay. I'm gonna let that dry before I try and fix it. Oh, that's what happened. The overflow spilled down my hand and dripped on my painting. Interesting. Okay, what's the message there? Sometimes you affect people in ways, your overflow affects people in ways you don't expect, foresee, or control or realize. And that can be both good effects and bad effects, right? Okay, number 19. Let's see what meanings we get here. Oh, I like that color. It's rich. 23. Hmm. Well, I don't see a number 23, but this one is missing its number. So maybe it's not the same number. I thought those two were extras of the same, but it's likely 23. Ever have that experience in life where some things aren't labeled or you haven't had to label them before? I know I'm Gen X, so in my lifetime, there have been new gender labels invented that I've had to learn and include. And so, there are some times we make assumptions. You're like, oh, yeah, that looks like that. It must be that. And the assumptions we find out at some point are incorrect. And we have to relabel them. Change what we thought was true. Okay, 23. Just trying to remember what number I was on. As these colors are so close together, I didn't water this one down. I wanted it to be a little bit more thick. My squeaky table. I wonder if you can hear that. It's vintage, unlike me. It has its own comforting little squeaks and creaks. This one says 23, but I've got 22 on my paintbrush and I'm just going to go with it because they're kind of close in color. Okay. 15. And I spilled the number 16 last time and it dripped down my hand with the overflow. I'm noticing now it got a little bit in here on this 17. See how it's all in the lid? I don't know if you can see that, if it's going to focus. Some of it got over here somehow. Okay, we are, oh no, this is, I had to double check the numbers. This is 15. Is that the number I wanted? Um, yes, it is. 15. I need to check to see if my camera is still, if I'm still painting in the area. Maybe I should stick back to this over here. Um, Focus it in here. Okay, so let's see, what numbers haven't I done here in the middle? 7 is this light color, kind of a, what would you call that color? It's too, kind of surprised with how light this color is, how much it contrasts the white behind it of the canvas. It really shows up and has a nice shimmer. It's golden, like a goldenrod. Let's see how it compares to number 5, which is similar. I feel like we already did 5 at one point. Did we? Yeah. Here you can see the difference between those two colors more side by side. So many different shades of the same color or variations of the same color. I feel like this is also kind of a goldenrod color, but it's slightly different. It's got its own little flair, just like people got their own little different kind of expression, different expression in the world. I hope you can still see this. I'm probably gonna stop after I finish this number just because I don't want this to get too long. I know sometimes I just get in my zone and I record for a really long time, but I'll figure out what a good length is at some point once I get some feedback and we'll once I know a little bit more. I was telling a girlfriend the whole point of this was me being authentic, sharing myself authentically in the world and getting comfortable with that. So I feel like this is doing that, but if it's also helpful for anyone watching, I also want to know, what do you enjoy about this, or what um, hinders you watching if if you were able to see better, if you were able to hear better, if you were shorter and if they were shorter in length. I don't know. Those are all things I can fix and don't really affect me. So if I don't hear anything, I'm not going to change it. Probably. There's more sixes than I thought. Okay, I'm going to finish this area here. 4. Interesting how this 4 looks more green here than it did in there next to the yellow. Do you ever have that when you put on different clothes, different colors of clothes? Like it looks so different in the closet and then when you put it on. Or your skin tone looks so different with one color and then another. I would love to have my colors done. That seems to be trending right now, where you pay to have a color analysis and they tell you what colors look good on you. I did buy a certain version of it a couple of years ago. It was like this energetic color analysis. And then I lost the swatches that I had. I think I took them on vacation to show family, and somewhere in that process, they disappeared. This is a fun color. Mm. I splattered again on my painting. It's because I'm not being very careful and I am doing my water drips over the painting instead of over the table. I probably shouldn't be, but I wanted to show you. To me, it just feels like so satisfying to watch the storing of that. think that's probably a good stopping point. And I will let you get on with your day. And I will likely sit here and paint for another hour. Thank you for joining me. I hope this got you into your craft zone and in your happy place of calm and serenity. And as always, take care of yourself. And I'll see you next time. Bye.